Hello everyone, this video is going to be in English. I just want to talk about, I guess one of the problems that you may have, particularly with Chinese, but I'm sure other languages have this problem as well. When you're learning a language, there's always going to be an issue of dialect, and you have to be able to not only understand how to deal with that, but also recognize it as far as, what countries have it, what countries don't, where in the country, what the differences are. So, for me, learning Chinese has one of the, I guess, biggest populations in regards to, or biggest different amounts of populations with different pronunciations and different dialects. That's why they ended up creating a standard Mandarin called Putonghua. And that's what I'm learning. I decided not to learn a specific dialect because if you want to talk to more than just, talk to more people than just one group, one type of person in one city, you want to learn the standard Mandarin because all of China, if they went to school, they all learn the standard Mandarin. But in each city, they all have their own dialect. Beijing, they speak a certain dialect. In Guangdong, they speak a certain dialect. Shanghai, Chengdu, wherever you go, they have their own sort of dialect. But they all should be able to speak Mandarin, the standard Mandarin. And that's what I'm learning. But I've learned that, Arabic, it's similar to that. You have like Egyptian Arabic, and then you have like, I forgot the other, I think it's Egyptian Arabic and Standard Arabic or something like that. Then with Spanish, you've got Spanish from Spain and Spanish from Mexico. And there are slight differences between all of those languages. So point I'm trying to make is, to sum everything up, when you're dealing with dialect, pick a certain dialect that you want to learn. If there's no standard, I would always say go with standard because it would make sense. If there's a standardized dialect for a language, go with standard because most people are probably gonna end up speaking the standard. But if there's no standard, then pick your favorite sounding dialect. And go for it. If you're concerned with talking to the most people possible, obviously pick a dialect from one of the biggest populated cities or areas and learn that. But yeah, now my problem here, why I'm making this video, is like I've decided to learn standard Mandarin, but as far as the accent goes, which is slightly different than dialect. Accent, I don't know if I want to make this two different videos or if I want to make it the same video. I think I'm going to make, let me see how long this video is so far. 4 minutes. Screw it, let's throw this in the video. So, accent, it's different than dialect. Dialect, like the words, they use different words in different dialects. Some things are pronounced completely different. Accent is just, like, obviously accent has to do with pronunciation as well, but it's much less about changing the vocabulary as much as just about how you pronounce things. So I chose the Dongbei, Northeast China accent, and I'm very happy to say people, when they talk to me, they hear it and they point it out. Like, oh, you sound like you're from Dongwei, or you sound like you're from, Hebei or Beijing, I love that. That's the goal I wanted when I first started learning a language. I was like, I want that Beijing accent. I want that Northeast accent. Because I just always was attracted to it. I like it. I think it's interesting. I love the arhua. I love that. So I'm very happy that I've made it to where I basically accomplished my goal as far as sounding like the area I wanted to sound in. But the problem that I'm dealing with is, actually living here in China, living in the city that I'm living in here in Hebei. They have their own dialect in this city. Can people speak standard Mandarin? Yes, but every now and then you may run into that old generation person that they just speak the city, the city's dialect, and as far as speaking standard Mandarin, it's hard. I'm not gonna say it's hard for them to do. It's just they're not used to it, so they may not even realize when they're going back. Because when people have a conversation with you, you get to a certain point where they get really comfortable. They want to revert back to just how they talk on an everyday basis. So that it hinders you because like you're used to speaking the standard Mandarin, and here they're switching to the dialect, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Is my Chinese bad, or are they speaking their dialect? So I've just straight up started asking them, like, is that the dialect or is that standard Mandarin? They're like, oh, sorry, and they go back to Mandarin. So you just gotta know when to understand. Hey, it's not that you're not understanding because you don't understand. It's you don't understand because they're speaking in the dialect. As far as accent goes too, you gotta train your ear to get used to all the accents in China. So, like, once again, or whatever language you're speaking, but in China, for example, the north, they have more of a sound, and the south is more it's very different. So if you can try to find resources that, that both the North and South are both speaking standard Mandarin, but just listen to the accent and get used to that. That's going to help you out a lot. I still need to do more practice on that. When I talk to people from the South, it's hard for me to understand them sometimes because I'm not used to it. So try to get used to all accents. As far as dialect, choose a dialect. If there's a standard, choose the standard. But I just wanted to talk about that. I may be forgetting some things I wanted to say, but I think that's pretty much it for this. So, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.